So, welcome back. Welcome to the football referee with myself, Emmy Hikins, and he calls me Cos.
And me, Trevor Gear, and he calls me bro.
Ah, beautiful. Yes, so Liverpool, I think they're back to winning ways.
Yep.
What do you think?
Well, yeah, I watched the game last night. I'm sure you did as well. And
Right.
I would say they deserve to win. The first 20 minutes tended to be all Real Madrid. But after that, Liverpool, took up the challenge and seemed to dominate. They had more goal chances, more shots, and a very good goal in the event by McAllister. So I think they deserve to win. Something that came to my notice actually just after last week's session that we did, last week's football referee, and the
Right.
question we were posing is what are Liverpool on the comeback, and why have they been so out of sorts and below whatever they did last season? And we talked about players that had gone, and then I heard something that somebody said which really rang a bell with me. It may or may not be the case, but in trying to look for reasons, excuse me, why Liverpool very much have been off the boil this season after
Mm.
the first, excuse me, first 4 or 5 games, was various reasons have been given. But when you think they go into that dressing room before the match, what do they see? This is home games, of course. What do they see on the wall? Well, their number 20, which they immortalised for Diogo Jota, will
Mm.
be up on his place. The shirt will be there with his name on it and the number 20. And they get in there and they prepare for their game. Now, somebody said, I mean, perhaps a number of people have said it, but it came to my notice that somebody said he felt the reason they'd had such a downturn in their games, home and away, really, but certainly the home games, which was always a bit of a fortress at Anfield, was grief. In other words, they go into that dressing room, they see Diogo's shirt, his name, his place where he will come in and sit like the rest of them, and it could have affected them in a very powerful way. And maybe I found that interesting because it could have been some sort of factor. They will go out onto the pitch, possibly not necessarily fired up, or we'll do this for Jota, but actually, what a bad outcome for him and his family. Just been married for 2 weeks, and it keeps alive in a way. We want to keep his memory alive. They will up there, but it's still quite raw in the aftermath of that appalling accident. And it just occurred to me that that seems to be a possible explanation as to why they've seriously gone off. I mean, they seem to be on the way back now. They won last Saturday, didn't they?
They did.
They beat, just remind me, they beat Villa 2-0 at Liverpool, and they played pretty well. I saw the game. And so, yeah, that was quite an interesting thought that maybe the players individually who knew Jota very well, and groups of players in these teams, they must get very close. I mean, they're all fighting the same cause. They're sort of all of life's problems, as far as possible, are kept away from them. They only have to focus on their game, their team, their teammates, and
Mm.
maybe the awful grief of losing someone in such terrible circumstances may have psychologically played a part. I don't know. It could have infected their normal match preparations. But yeah, I thought you'd be interested to hear that. I'd be interested to know what you think about that.
Yeah. That probably makes sense because Alexander Trent and Alexander Arnold went to lay flowers in a PlayStation controller. Um, in tribute to Diego Jota at Anfield. And if he's still feeling that way about him, so
Mm,
the other players might be even more affected because
well,
they
so
there,
yeah,
they're there at Anfield, aren't they? And they look around
yeah,
and he's not there with them.
No,
Um, yeah, so yeah, I can definitely buy into that as a reason for him not to for them not to because people we deal with grief differently, don't we? We all
absolutely.
we all process it differently. So
Mm,
for people that have or seem to have it all, so
mm,
they've got youth on the side, and then they've got this crazy amount of money. So it would hit them more hard, because they seem to have everything, so they don't
mm.
really see anything going wrong besides
No,
besides being sold to another team or moving transfers or whatever, packing up their bags and their families and moving. So yeah,
mm.
I do buy into
It's
that.
possible. Yeah,
Yeah,
possible.
it's possible. Yeah. Now, Paul Scholes on Mo Salah. He says he does some of the worst things you can see from a center forward. He does some of the worst stuff you see, but he was still scoring goals. So this is Paul Scholes on Mo Salah. Now, I don't see what worst things he does. What is he talking about? Do we have any idea what he's talking about? No, I don't
No,
see
not
it.
really.
No.
No. I mean, perhaps technically, tactics wise, perhaps he
Oh,
feels
right. Okay.
he. I
Yeah.
mean, he's not really a centre forward, is he? I mean, Salah's is more of a winger, isn't he, or almost an inside number 10, but mainly comes in from the wing. So I don't know. Maybe he felt he was sort of leaving the wing too much, coming inside. But no, without knowing what was in his mind, it's quite hard to know what he meant.
Hmm. Maybe because he thought Salah was a centre forward. Maybe that's why. Because when you look at Salah's game, the ones that he scores goals on, he scores it right from the right hand side, don't it? It cuts in from the right hand
Yeah,
side, and
and he
so
cuts in, doesn't he? Usually
it
onto his
does.
left foot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It cuts in and it scores these goals. So I don't really see what he's talking about. Now, this is a boring one, but because there's two.